and thanks for joining me on another Military Collectible Shop on the Road edition. So today I'm heading south got a call from some people that have some German stuff and some U.S. airborne stuff, which if you've watched any of these videos, you know is aces in my book. So I'm headed out to see what we can find, see what they have, and try to make them an offer they can't refuse. So, kind of excited about this one, so I hope it works out. A little cold and windy today, not unusual for springtime in Wisconsin. So, kind of both hands on the wheel driving. It's pretty gusty. Yeah. Scared the crap out of me. It's my own wipers. Alright, it's raining a bit. I should go. Alright, we'll see what happens. Alright, so it was both awesome and a little disappointing. I was hoping there'd be a uniform there, but the lady thinks that it was her dad, so she's keeping that for now. But I'm not sure that it is, because I didn't get to see it, so I'm hoping to see it. And then, but I did get a whole bunch of other stuff from the uncle, who was a paratrooper in World War II. So that's awesome. Some German stuff that he brought back. So now I'm kind of excited to get it back, go through all the stuff, and run the name and see what our research guy can come up with on it. Because I know for sure he was 17th Airborne, but I'm not sure if he was also involved in D-Day or not. So yeah, so it could be an interesting history. So we'll see what we can find on that. But overall, definitely a positive outcome. You never know with these. Sometimes deals can go south. You know, you put all the work in, you get up early, you drive, you go there, you meet the people. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. So this time it worked. I was very happy to get what I could get, and so very excited about that. I can't wait to show you. So, through the magic of video, you'll be seeing that very soon. All right. Well, now I'm back at the shop with one of the groups that I picked up from my road trip. So this is really cool. As a collector, I was so excited. One, to get the call. It's like, hey, do you buy German stuff? Yeah, we do. Okay, because my uncle, he was airborne, and he brought back some German stuff. I'm like, okay. Do you have any of his stuff? Oh yeah, we got a whole pile of his stuff. Okay, I'd be interested in that too. And that's kind of what this is. So this is a great grouping from a guy who served with the 513th Airborne Regiment in World War II. So just a great smattering of stuff. There was I was a little, I don't want to say disappointed, because I'm so not disappointed, but they had mentioned a uniform, and it turns out that the uniform actually belonged to the lady's father, who was a World War II Marine. So she didn't want to sell that yet. So okay, that's fine. Happy to get this stuff, but very excited. Just a great grouping, all from one guy, which makes it so important. We get so much loose stuff that has no connection to anybody, and it's the connection that really makes that history kind of ring through it. So we actually did get his dog tags, 2 sets. The the next of kin and the later ones that they came out with. We got his hat with the airborne infantry patch on it, and obviously a whole bunch of airborne infantry patches. Now, some people go, well, why do you need so many patches? As collectors, what we like to look for are what's known as variants. And it's just, this one's different than this one because this one's embroidered on wool, this one's embroidered on twill. This one, I actually don't even have a version of this one. This is like a standard U.S. patch made one, the normal cut edge embroidery, which I don't have one of these in my collection. This one's a little oversized, so I'm really excited to add these to my own collection, as part of the group and as different variants of patches that I don't have. Also came with the United States Paratroop, kind of morale patch, the PX patch that we see. Blue for infantry. You also see them for red for artillery or engineers. Got a whole bunch of 13th Airborne patches, which is great. A whole bunch of 17th Airborne patches, both with the attached tab and with the, the non-attached tab, I guess. Not so many variations in there. Occasionally you'll see some variants of the 17th, which are pretty neat too, because they have like what's called the reverse claw one, where the toes are going a different way. But anyways, also did get a nice 17th Airborne unit crest, DI, and I managed to get 4 of his jump wings, which are very cool. Most of them are just a standard Sterling jump wing, but one actually has a combat star affixed to it, so that's really cool. And some of the early jump ovals, the corresponding jump ovals. A couple of his combat infantryman's badges, that he was awarded. A bunch of his rank patches, just some little miscellaneous stuff, like some paracord, that he had and had kept. This is neat. It's a 101st patch. Not completely sure, why this was in there, but it's a greenback one, so that's very cool. So I'm still researching his history a little bit to try to find out if there was a connection somewhere in there. Some of the guys tended to move around between regiments. We got his compass pouch. Unfortunately, no compass, but I've got compasses. Some of the German stuff that he picked up was a Luftwaffe belt buckle, early political hat eagle. Interestingly, a Russian officer's hat star. Some Imperial German pieces, that he picked up somewhere along the line, and a Deutsches Volkssturm armband. Kind of neat. Not a ton of German stuff that he got, but again, I'm more excited about the American stuff that's here in this. Got the unit history. Thunder from Heaven, the 17th Airborne unit history. That's really cool. Great book. Nice pillow cover from Fort Benning. The paratroopers. Some pieces of his parachute, the camo parachute. That's really cool to see. And this is actually, these are really, really rare. It's the first aid kit that they would wear, usually on their helmet, sometimes attached to their uniform. I've got a couple of these in my own collection, but they're full and unopened because these were actually sealed. They had to actually rip them open to get in them. This one's actually been ripped open, and the contents are still with it. So I'm gonna make a nice display of that. Kind of neat to see, kind of behind the curtain, if you will. Couple of his parachute. This is from the reserve chute. I'm not really sure which one this one is from, but the pull rings from parachutes that he kept as a souvenir. These are interesting. I don't know what these actually are. It's some type of, like, I'd almost call it like a jeweler's rouge or some kind of red chalk. Don't know why they were in there, but you know, significant enough for him to keep, so I'm hanging on to it. Actually, did get some paperwork from him too, which is always nice because, you know, in addition to the dog tags, it actually helps tell the story. This is a really cool document. 513th Parachute Infantry Non-Commissioned Officer School that he went to, with the 513th logo on it, their patch. The certificate for his being awarded his jump wings. Always great to find that. A copy of his DD-214, which is you know, just always great because you can't get much better source information than that. He actually he started out as a German citizen, so he actually was naturalized. He became an American citizen. Good for him. Right before the war. Good time. And another certificate. Oh, this is cool. A couple frame certificates too. He actually got a certificate of merit for doing something, and then he was because of the combat infantry badge, he was awarded the Bronze Star in what they call the 1947 conversion. So any infantry guys who were awarded the combat infantry badge in 1947, Congress figured that, you know, anybody who earned this probably did something along the way to earn the Bronze Star. So I have the Bronze Star ribbon. The family was actually still looking for more of his medals and things. They did find some more stuff. They actually contacted me later that they found some more stuff, so I'm excited about that. And also, this is kind of neat. His ribbons, his ribbon bar, where he's got the Good Conduct Medal and the African, European, Mediterranean ribbon, with three combat stars and an arrowhead. So I didn't realize that they could actually be awarded the arrowhead for the jump over the Rhine. So the 17th guys actually earned an invasion arrowhead. At least some of them did. And what's really cool is his DD-214, his discharge paper, actually reflects that. You know, it mentions the arrowhead. Bronze arrowhead. Yep. So you can't argue that. And then probably a couple of little things. Parachute training, 1943, little booklet. Another parachute training booklet. You know, these are just cool to be able to put with stuff and kind of fluff out the grouping. Camera trip through Fort Benning. That's always neat. He actually put together a scrapbook of things. You know, a lot of parachute related, 17th Airborne related. Airborne Division is born. You know, just a lot of cool, you know, and just so neat that he actually put this together, you know. As you'd imagine, a lot of parachute related stuff. Newspaper clippings, different things, all airborne related. But just very cool to see. Not sure what this is. Some school stuff from airborne school. All right, but then the piece de resistance, you know, kind of the, well, I mean, arguably the best piece in here is actually his original World War II Fort Benning paratroops T-shirt. So, you know, this is really cool. You know, I've actually got a 513th jump jacket with the regimental patch on it. So I'm going to display, as kind of a tribute to him, I'm going to display the T-shirt under that. You know, but just so neat to see an original one of these. You see a lot of these, you know, the reproductions at reenactments and things like that. Guys wear them. It's the fashionista guys love them. Not that there's anything wrong with that, Cotton Boy, but you know, it's just really cool to see an original one in its original state. So this was just a fantastic grouping that I wanted to share with you. You know, very, very tickled to get this one in. I did manage to find a few other things in my road tripping. So let me pack this up, and I'll show you. I'll show you a few else of the things. No, it's far too early for me. I'll show you some of the rest of the stuff that I picked up in my travels. But this was kind of the cherry on the icing, on the gravy on the cake. So yeah, very, very tickled to get this. But let me show you some of the other pieces that I found. Okay, so just a couple more things that I found on my various road tripping excursions. You know, people always ask, hey, where do you find all this military stuff? Anywhere I can. You know, a lot of miles, a lot of knocking on doors, a lot of phone calls, a lot of emails. No one just drops the stuff off at the front door and just leaves it. Because if they did, somebody would steal it. But anyways, so through you know, a lot of back and forth thing, I did pick up some other stuff. Some of it kind of interesting. No particular order, although I do think this is nice. It's a 1917 A1, sometimes known as the Kelly helmet. You know, it's the sort of the first helmet of World War II, if you will, based upon the World War I, with a modified liner and a modified chin strap. So just a nice example of the Kelly helmet, M17A1. You see those still being worn early on, Pearl Harbor, Guam, those kind of places. Also, from that same source, I picked up a nice, you know, decent U.S. Army officer's visor hat. Just a real, you know, one been around the block several times. So neat, nice big eagle on that one. Just a real good look on that one. Those always display well, and that actually could display well with this. This is a the Type A4. I knew that, but I wanted to check. Type A4 World War II flight suit. What's very cool about this one is the guy has the 9th Air Force patch sewn on it. So just nice to see. You know, I don't always say we get a lot of these, but we get a decent amount of flight suits. But it's real nice to have the actual patch sewn on. That's not something we normally see. So that's pretty cool. And like I said, that would actually display nicely with the hat. Ooh. I got a British, yeah, no, it's British, 1943 dated binocular holder. So unfortunately no binoculars. 43 dated canister, 53 dated strap, but they didn't throw the stuff out, you know. Oh, World War II's over, got to get rid of everything. No, that's not what happened. They kept using stuff. All right, back to this side of the pond. Got a couple Carlisle bandage kits, complete with the Carlisle bandage. That one's got a alphanumeric laundry mark on it, so possible research potential. That one does too. Both with the bandages. Nice metal tin, really nice shape bandages. Always popular. This is a fishing kit. I think this actually goes in like the survival raft or something, but that's kind of neat. Got various lines and net, knife, some other little bits and bobs. I'm sure it's not all there. Some of the pockets are empty. I don't want to stick my fingers in because I'm sure there's some hooks in there too. Did that once. My cousins used to have a place out at the lake, and they had like a back bedroom area where you change into your swimming suit, and that's also where they stored all the fishing stuff. So one time I got a treble hook right through my foot. That was great. You know how you pull a treble hook out? You don't. You push it through. Yeah. Okay, this is cool, and it's the lineman's tool, complete with the TL29 knife, but more importantly, The pliers. These are so often missing. It's ridiculous. These are the, what do they call these? TL13As. So these are the wire cutters and the pliers. Right out of college, I worked for cable TV for a while as a line tech because of my background in electronics. And so we actually did a lot of work with just knives and stuff. So this actually would have been very handy. I did not have one of these. I was climbing those darn poles. Okay. The earliest pole, because each telephone pole actually has a date on it when they put it in. And the earliest one I ever climbed was from 1947. And that thing, because they shrink as they get older. And by the time you get up to the top, it's like you're hanging onto a broomstick, a rotted broomstick. So. And squirrels are very territorial. Okay, got a nice holster. World War... No, 1917. Actually, World War I. Look at me blowing it off as World War II. That's a World War I holster. Oh, this is heavy. These are always cool. It's a Escort Squadron 14 plaque, brass plaque. A lot of times they made these shipboard. And then they would make them for the guys as they were retiring or as a, morale kind of thing. But just a nice design. What's cool about this one, it's got the torpedoes, it's got the depth charge, it's got, I'm not sure what the other thing is. Malcolm will know. He's our local resident sea salt, or DJ, and Dan. They're sort of adopted sea salts. Alright, this is a 10-pocket belt. What makes this one cool is it's Marine Corps marked. The ammo belt, but Marine Corps marked. Probably from Korea. Always nice. A Vietnam remembrance bracelet. These were made when people were MIA, POW. They were worn back then. So these are always interesting to try and research and see if the person was able to make it back. So they were shot down 2/14/68. It's just kind of fun. I picked up a little Solido tank destroyer. My Uncle Joe, was actually attached to the tank destroyers as part of the 541st Heavy Maintenance Battalion. He drove a lot of tanks, and actually he drove a wrecker, which is like a giant tow truck that could tow tanks. So anytime anything broke down, they got it, they fixed it. He unfortunately had some horrible stories about just washing the insides of tanks out and stuff, patching them up, sending them back out. Okay, also got a, this is just a little smallest wave grouping ever, but a nice grouping from World War II woman wave, a collar patch and a PX patch, the U.S. Navy. And then this thing, I thought this was really cool. We see a lot of the foreign worker patches from different countries after the war, after World War II, where they utilized displaced personnel as laborers. The U.S. Army did. So as to sort of give them some official status, they actually had patches made up with the country of origin, or I believe maybe the language that they spoke, but signifying that they were actually like official workers. What I thought was really cool is that in addition to the patch, I also got a document and a little pin for a guy who was awarded for the Labor Service Division of the U.S. Army. And what's neat is it's all in German, but I just not seen anything like that before. Nice enameled badge, as the Germans typically do. Serial numbered, again, as the Germans typically do. But just a very cool set. To kind of a part of history that's not often, remembered, I guess. And I know a lot of guys do collect the labor patches, but I thought having the document and a little award badge was a really nice addition to that. So that's kind of it for now from my travels. There was some other stuff, but I can't actually get to it right now. Those of you who've been to the shop, you understand. But I really appreciate you joining me. Whenever I go off on these little jaunts, it's a little bonus to the what comes into the shop. I do a lot of searching out and try to find stuff all over, anywhere I can. So we're always looking for new and interesting stuff for both our own collections and for the store. So until next time, remember to subscribe. If you haven't subscribed, you'll get notifications of more videos like this. And feel free to comment, send us an email, visit our website, militarycollectorshq.com, or if you can't remember that, it's militarycollectiblesshop.com. Both will take you to the same place. A lot of new stuff. We're putting more stuff on. We've got a bunch of guys helping us out now, so we're working on that, and we're trying to get more stuff pushed out on the website, more stuff pushed out on eBay. So check us out on eBay under Mr. Mr. Jerry. That's where you'll find us. And as always, thanks for watching. We really appreciate each and every one of you. And we'll talk to you soon. More videos coming up, so be sure to subscribe. Until next time, I'm Jerry, and thanks for being on the road with the Military Collectible Shop. But wait, there's more. Don't go away yet. Okay, so as I was packing this stuff up, I realized I forgot some things. So this was nice. It was is a World War II CBI, China, Burma, India guy's jacket, complete with the insignia. Air Transport Command unit crests and nice four-pocket World War II. Now it is, I believe it's missing the wing. I believe he would have qualified for a wing. So, but the nice thing is it actually does have his alphanumeric laundry number inside. So I'm going to try to research that and see if I can figure out. Chances are it was an aircrew wing, but I just want to verify that before I put one on, to kind of complete the uniform. Because unfortunately, a lot of times uniforms get stripped of, especially the wings, because the wings are sterling. So, unfortunately, people don't have a regard for history, and they just want that silver. Good job. You turned a $50 wing into $30 worth of silver. Okay, and then also a nice World War I 33rd Division. Usually from our southern brethren down in Illinois, complete with the overseas hat. So just a nice World War I tunic. The guy, I believe he was transport, and 132nd Company E Infantry. So and a year overseas. So just a nice World War I tunic and accompanying hat. So I was real tickled to get both of those as well. So a friend of mine called me up. He had gotten some stuff. So that was very nice. Okay, now that's it for now. But there will be more. So we'll see you again soon. As always, thanks. Really appreciate all of you. Have a great day. See you next time.